Good evening, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. We're here, we're live, we're at the beginning of game week 315. Oh, they're all running away. It has been absolute pandemonium. I thought we were going to be talking about game week stuff and prize pools and trades and all that usual stuff. I've got Harry Boy with me. I just need to find him. Where is he? There he is. Harry Boy, how's it going? Thanks for joining us, my man.
How we doing? You okay?
I'm buzzing, mate. I'm great. Did you? I know you're just in the door yourself, but
literally just through the door.
So rare for anyone just catching this as well. If you've not been on the old Twitter sphere, first of all, jump onto Twitter. You'll see my tweet for tonight. Give it a wee retweet and a like and all that good stuff. But in that tweet, you'll see the retweet for Sorare. They've finally teased what's going to happen in the World Cup. So have you checked it out, Harry? Have you seen the little trailery thing?
I have, yeah. No, I literally, for a bit of context for the viewers, I just come back from the gym, so I just ran home to make it in time for the stream. Sorry if I was a few minutes late, but yeah, I did see it. I did see the video in the gym, and yeah, it caught my eye. I mean, they're not giving a ton away, but there's some, I don't know, like the card designs and stuff, the different colors. I don't know what that represents. I'll be interested to see what your take is and what the chat thinks as well. I don't know what to make of all those colors, to be honest.
I think the colours represent countries, you know. That was my first kind of thought, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
So, like, I don't know. I'm watching it on replay the now. I was kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably about 10. Somebody in the thread has broke it all down. So, somebody reckons it's the Premier League, and they've got, like, if you look in the actual thread, they've taken screenshots of all the colours. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't see Leeds being a kind of greenish representation. I think they would be more white. Same with Palace. I wouldn't see them being purple either on that little picture. But I think you could probably, I don't know, maybe the purple is a bit hard, but you could probably bring all these colours towards a flag, you know.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, like the red's probably Belgium, one of the blues will be France, you would imagine. And then if you look at that picture, the guy that's laid it all out, the one that says Aston Villa, that's probably Argentina.
You'd have to think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and maybe green and gold is maybe Brazil, but it's mainly green. You think they'd maybe be mainly yellow?
They're weird. They're like weird colors of the colors, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just weird shades, and maybe that's all cryptic and kind of meant to happen, if that makes sense. I'm sure there's obviously a reason, but well, I'd hope there's a reason behind it all. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I'm glad they've sort of just teased something. Obviously, we've got the NBA situation tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're going to know more tomorrow about this. Do you think we will?
Well, when they did one of the MLB things, they tried to kid on. There was a bit of football, and then there wasn't. And this, they've not made any of those noises. So I don't think there would be anything football related in the NBA one, to be quite honest. I think
that makes sense.
I think they're quite confident the NBA will get its own audience by itself, you know, as well.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely interesting. Yeah, I mean, of course they waited to 6 p.m. to drop it.
Yep.
Which I guess is the end of the working day effectively. But I don't know. I just thought, I guess it makes sense to drop it then. Everyone finishes work and what have you. So yeah, it makes sense from a timing standpoint, I imagine. But yeah, I'm just intrigued about the colors. They just don't add up to me right now. I'm just like you said, the Argentina one, like I can see that, but the rest of them, they just, especially for the Premier League thing, I think that's a bit of a stretch to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it has to be nationalities of some sort, doesn't it?
This November, own your game world. And then like the game word is like they've used a funny font for it, so it's a wee bit underlined, but it's not. And yeah, so they do love their little cryptic things. So own your game, but then what is it? Maybe the letters A and E are the ones that are underlined.
Mm,
And
where are
it's
you
not.
seeing that too?
So see if you see the actual Sorare tweet with the video.
Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, yeah.
So
Hmm.
it looks
Yeah.
like E and A are the ones with the underlined thing. Maybe G gets a bit of it, but I think that's just
Yeah,
overhang from the
G's
A.
got something on there. I would
So,
say this G and M, like A doesn't have anything there for me.
oh really?
Or does it? Yeah. I'm seeing like a cross between the middle of the M, and then I'm seeing like at the bottom of the sort of circle in the G, there's
Yeah.
a line in there.
So maybe
That's
it's just the
interesting.
M that isn't. So that'll definitely be a clue to something. There's no two ways about it. They
It's
don't do nothing.
gotta be.
That's
No,
very
100%.
very deliberate, doing that, So maybe there's something in
Mm-hmm.
there. Anyone in the live chat that can decipher Dan's codes, this will probably be one of his best ones. But it's maybe A and E. I don't know what that's got to do with anything. First two vowels in the alphabet. I don't know if they really stand for anything like football terms, like global or anything. I don't know. And
Arab Emirates? No,
well, I kind of thought UAE at first also, but it's the Qatar World Cup rather than
it is, isn't it?
Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi and all that. And or maybe it's G and M, or maybe it's just M. Maybe it's the one that doesn't have anything. Maybe like
Yeah.
M clearly doesn't have anything, so maybe it's M. Maybe M is the standout one. And what would that be?
Hmm. It is very weird.
Yeah, but that definitely
They've
means something.
gained. They've gained. Well, actually, I don't know how much exactly. I know they were on 130,000.1 followers earlier. Now they're on 130,000.2. So I don't know whether that's just ticked over, if that makes sense, like from like 199
Yeah,
to 2, but something's growing.
sure.
um, but yeah. Quinny, how did you get on this game week?
Absolutely terrible, buddy. Absolutely terrible.
Same.
Let me just actually go and have a look at where my results are lying because last night it was such a Sunday heavy game week. We'll come back to this World Cup thing, by the way, but we want to hear from you guys in the live chat. We'll get fist bumps and all that good stuff as well, of course. But yeah, let me just get my head straight before we're at, because I think the community lineup is going to have another giveaway card this
Nice.
game week. Yes, we are. We've still got the goalkeeper to run, who's playing the now and currently losing 2-0, actually. So he's on 44 points. Let's hope he doesn't concede a third, and let's hope he puts a bit of work in to achieve that, and maybe we can. So we're on for a tier 3. We're 30 points away from a tier 2, so we would need Piri to. Let me go and see if I can pull this page up. Sorry, Harry.
No, you're fine.
Let me see if I can pull this page up. Where the fudge? SO5 results. Nope, that's not there. Let me cancel that. Sorry, Harry. 2 seconds.
No problem.
Oh yeah. But yeah, yours was awful as well.
Yeah, proper stinker from me. I only had two goalkeepers anyway, so I was sort of not playing with what I could, if that makes sense, at my best. But yeah, there's a few highlights, but for the most part, just yeah, very very disappointing.
It was I say a very Sunday heavy game week, So I thought at one point I was going to be maybe sneaking in with some low scoring cards to maybe. Yeah, I can't find this blooming window.
What
I
your
could. Oh no, I
your
found it.
screen?
I found it. There we go. Boom. It was
You got
hiding
it?
for me. Yeah, sometimes you need to open it and close it a few times. I'm trying to get a wee Haksabanovic as people will see on screen. Let me see. SO5. Yeah, so the community team, that's where we're kind of sitting with the now. That's probably the only thing I'm kind of looking at. It says I've got a card somewhere else, but I didn't see what division that was. Oh, no, I've actually got 3 cards, as it stands now.
Okay.
A couple unlimited. So under 23, yeah, I've just about managed to get something out of that. With a Bada off the bench with an assist. Barry Al, double decisive, goal line clearance and an assist. Captain Akimi with a 65 before multiplier. Muric clean sheet. And Gabri Viga got a 43 before getting subbed off. He was the letdown. But that's coming out with a tier 2, so that's quite nice. And then Underdog 45, I think was the other one. Oh, so I've got a card running in that now. It's not started. Kicks off at 8. So he's on his starting bonus. If he can break like 60 points, I can maybe get into a top end tier 2. And if he was to absolutely kill it in a big way, then it's not out of the question a tier 1. So that was Haksabanovic captain. Reuter got a wee assist in that team as well. And Davy Rom actually brought in a really big all-round score, and for a while had some sort of decisive credited to him. It got taken away, unfortunately, which was a bit of a bummer.
No way.
Yeah, because this team was flying. I was like 40th or something with a guy to play style.
Yeah.
So that was a bummer. I think it was mistaken identity or something. It was a genuine like just misappropriation of the award. And then I'm just going to make sure I've got your screen as well, Harry. I'm just
no worries, man.
Making sure I can see it for when we need it. But yeah, so I didn't really have much going on for this game week. By the time the dust settles and whatever. But do you know what one thing that really I'm so surprised and so happy about is I tried to, as you know, like I sold Vanderveer, and I've done quite a bit of trading over the last 6 weeks, and I brought in some backup goalkeepers. I brought in a Tenas, a De Kaiser, and a Matthias Liss. Liss started at the weekend and saved a penalty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't see that coming, and he saved a pen, and he's got to be in now for the foreseeable until he has a blunder, you know. So jackpot,
okay.
Really quick backup goalkeeper coming in, absolute.
Yeah, that's massive.
Huge win, extra layer of utility is fantastic. And then De Kaiser didn't get off the bench or anything like that, but Barkas get hammered off a PSV like 6-1 or whatever it was. I think it was PSV.
Yeah.
Somebody absolutely screwed them. So if he's going to get dropped, man, it might be nigh. So this weekend, although on the leaderboards might not have been that great for me, I might have actually come out with it maybe with a couple of goalkeepers, just the way the results have went. So that's probably my real kind of win, if you like, of the game week itself.
Sometimes in a weird way, that's kind of better than getting a card in a funny fashion, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't really have any. Like, I did have some decent scores, but like the Celtic ones, I didn't play them in the right places because there were rotation cards and whatever. And then my non-Celtic cards, I didn't have anything fantastic really happening. I've still got some New York cards to play as well, really late in the game week, so maybe I get a surprise with some of them. But like, yeah, that's where I was at. I'm looking at your team now on screen, and yeah, that looks painful.
Yeah, this was the leftover side of things, but yeah, even the leftovers didn't really do much. But yeah, Odegaard with the goal. Carlson started, which I didn't expect him to, but came off 69th. Obviously, Barca got battered against Real. Pedri came off 83rd, to be fair. And then this was like my best hope. Started off okay. I mean, Ukin played on the Friday, so there was no decisive in there for him, but 62 as a captain, like you're not completely out of it. You're not going to win anything, as in like, you're not going to win a star, but for the most part, you got a chance. And then Fleming scores 3:00 on Saturday. I'm buzzing. The winner against Bristol City away. I thought, you know what? I've got a chance here. I'm on 154 points, I think it was. 156 points, I think, after the correction for Zion's score. And then, Quest it in the night. 8 minutes in, concedes a penalty, but it was a handball. It was just like, it just couldn't have gone any worse for me. But obviously they kept a clean sheet. Van der Vaart scored 100, and everything went swimmingly for him. And Quest technically made up for it with his AA. So he basically just I ended the game how he started, effectively, just nothing. I didn't really gain anything, but just frustrating. And then Timber lost his clean sheet, I think, in the 90th minute. So that was fun. And then Lafont, of course, they play Brest at home, who are 20th, bottom of the league, and they still can't keep a clean sheet. So I've completely given up on Lafont. If you can't keep a clean sheet against bottom of the league, then you've got no hope of you, to be fair.
I gave up on Lafont about 2 years ago. He's just
The thing is, like, as soon as I bought him, he literally turned really bad. Like, he went on a spell of. So I sold him a while
I
ago, and
think
I
he was
remember he
only
went
good
on.
for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, he was good from like game week 220 to like game week 250 here,
Yeah.
roughly. And then apart from that, I think he's kept, what's that, two clean sheets in like a crazy amount of game weeks. It's just, yeah, it's been diabolical.
Yeah, such a blue chip card as well, because he is like, I know he is coming out of U23 soon, but he, we take Sorare away from it. He is one of the best young goalkeepers in world football. He's the France under 21, or he was the perennial France under 21 goalkeeper, even though they have good competition in that space, as they do in every position.
Yeah, yeah.
And
100%.
he was like, and again, for anyone who doesn't really know this, but he was at Nantes originally on loan from Fiorentina. So he's one of these guys that has had kind of a big money transfer on youth prospect already, and he decided to stay there to get minutes because he fancies himself to be a guy, to be a player. But
Yeah.
on SO5, man, Nantes just are honking.
But mate, the worst thing about it is I ended up like panic selling my Van der Voort because he was rubbish at the start of the season and he didn't have midweek. So my thinking was, I'll go into Lafont. He has midweeks.
Sure.
I know he's not going to be great, but there might be just the odd clean sheet in there for me. But there's been no clean sheets. There's been barely any utility midweek because he just gets battered every week. So it's just been, yeah. And then Van der Voort's like doubled in price since that's happened. It's been a bit crazy, to be honest. So I've definitely lost out there big time. Yeah, that's one of my sort of poor moves this year for sure. But yeah, just looking at my under 23 Super Rare with Ferreira to run. Yeah, no outstanding scores, but Sevilla have turned things around, which I'm happy about. Tangai's playing a big role in that, so I'm really happy to have him.
It's a big win.
Just to be able to use a lot more frequently than a couple of weeks ago, I guess. Gaetan Ku lost 3-0, so great AA score, mine 17.3, but obviously the negative decisive. Varela came off in the 70th, so didn't really kick on score-wise. And Matson, I don't know, I thought this was a bit of a shock result, to be honest. I know they were away from home, but NEC were not so much favourites, but I thought they would have scored a couple at least. But yeah, nothing crazy. And then underdog Super Rare, my only highlight is probably Connor Barron for Aberdeen. I threw him in on a bit of a hunch that he might start from a few guys that I speak to. And he did, 32 AA score. Really, really pleased with that, to be honest, because I've not been able to use him. I think I mentioned in the last stream that, not been able to use him for a long time. 3 tackles, one interception, eight net duels, which is big.
Huge.
Lost the ball 17 times as well. So you're looking at minus 8.5 there. A shot on target, attempted assist. It seems like he did a bit of everything. They beat Hearts, obviously, 2-0.
See the possession lost, Harry? How many missed passes did they have as well? Sorry.
11.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not terrible, I guess. But just really pleased with his sort of availability now. And yeah, Jordan Bay actually started as well, which I wasn't. I had an inkling that Charlie Taylor might get back in, but he hasn't. To be fair, Burnley won 4-0, as you know. I know you just sold your Harwood Bellis, but clean sheet for them. And it looks like the Bay has sort of cemented his spot next to Bellis. So and that's how ironic as well. I was only slagging off Vitinha one night last week, and then he scores a 90. How typical is that?
Always the way.
I saw he scored the first one, and I was like, "Oh, here we go. This is a 90+ game." You just knew it. He scored so early on, but
it was on the card.
Yeah, now 100%. Looking forward to midweek. I don't have much running, to be honest, which we will get into obviously in a bit. Just stuck for goalies basically again. Shortages as usual, but yeah, something to cheer on, which is better than nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And very busy game week. And I'll just get the fist bump sorted. So we've got Pascal, good to see you first in. Shaka Boom, Jonathan Garji, Master DC, much love to you as well, my man. Hey Mai's here, and Hey Mai's got a ticket locked and loaded for the playoffs tonight. Absolutely buzzing. And Hey Mai's sitting there now 27th in limited Div 2. Oh, so I got confused there. We missed Teddy Chuma. Teddy Chuma, does he play in limited Div 2? Will X10, Sam D, Gaza, good to see you. Gaza's got us on the big screen. Jonathan Garji thinks it's going to be a lot of national teams. And Will X10, hi guys, could you check if challenger scores are lower? Now, I think there is a good kind of feeling across the game week that this week you did need less to actually pull a card, you know. And I think I don't know if that's misplaced. I definitely felt that halfway, like Saturday night, basically. But I think with so much Thursday football, with Europa League and Conference League and whatever, this game week was so Sunday heavy, and there's actually quite a fair bit of football today. So I'm not sure if it's as low scoring actually now that we're pretty much there, finished now, as we might have originally thought or felt it to be come Saturday. Have you had to look over the leaderboards or anything yourself, Harry?
No, not a crazy amount, to be honest, because I didn't really have much live yesterday. Like, I watched a lot of the Prem games, to be honest, yesterday. I went out with one of my mates and just, yeah, the Liverpool Man City game was just amazing, basically. And I did watch the Chelsea game as well. But yeah, I'm just scanning through the scores now just to see if there's anything crazy. Obviously, PSV, like you mentioned, 6-1. Zagreb won. Just trying to think. Zenit won 3-0. But I did see Wendell was a DMP, so I think that caught a lot of people out. What else? Ghent 3-0. What else? Feyenoord beat AZ, I guess, away from home. That was a little bit of an upset, I guess. Yeah, nothing. I mean, like you said, there was big games. Obviously, Club Brugge beat Anderlecht, another big one.
Yep.
Away from home. Bayern 5-0. Yeah, I kind of missed that. I didn't really see. But, oh, yeah, they played Choupo-Moting. Okay, Kimmich didn't smash. Alfonso smashed, to be fair. Yeah, no, nothing. Yeah, PSG. USG beat Ostend 6-1.
Where's Teddy Chuma?
Where is Teddy? Yeah.
Oh, Vanzier did the business for Tony. Tony's sitting top at Underdog Super Rare now.
I did see that. That's huge, isn't it?
He's loving it, man. Tony, fair play to him, by the way, because he set out, like, I think he said, I don't know if he said it on one of the first pods he came back on, but he set out to, like, get Underdog Supers to win that division about a month ago, 6 weeks ago. So he's absolutely made up that, you know, he's pulled off. He's pulled off the great heist, you know, built a team for it.
I was thinking about that earlier, and I'm just like, I don't know. I always think, like, my detriment for a little while was, like, you know, putting my leftovers in, say, All-Star Rare Pro and just hoping, right? But for the most part, like, that type of, I'm not saying they'll never work, but I just think you just have to be so much more calculated about it. Like what you just said then about Tony, you know, he targeted that competition. It's not a coincidence that he's just won it or might win it, you know? I don't know what the standards are right now, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he's gone out his way to find those underdog supers and target that. Like I kind of have with my under 23s, like whoever, you know, how you have with Challenger or All-Star Super. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's method behind the madness is basically what I'm getting at. Like, it's very rare that you're, you know, gonna like pluck something like that out of thin air if you're just throwing in a load of your leftovers. It's kind of the way. And I'm not saying everyone has leftovers. That kind of is a luxury to have. But I'm just saying if you are doing that, I don't know. I just think, you know, I would be looking to like sell those leftovers and then, you know, build on top of the things that you're trying to pursue in that sense. You know, I don't know if all that makes sense, Quinny, but
no, I totally get it.
Yeah. That's kind of my little thinking.
Non-stick Llama, David Sim, Joran Wallens, good to see you. Thanks for joining us all. And Joran's asking, are you saying, sorry, I posted a video on Insta with a new league, maybe the World Cup? Well, I think that's what we're all thinking, Joran, is we're thinking and hoping it's called the Global Cup. I don't think they've got the trademark or the official rights to call it the World Cup, you know, so they've went with Global Cup. So I think anyone thinking it might be something like the Prem or whatever, I think that surely just wipes it, because it has to be the Global Cup, you know, like it's probably going to be a region and it's probably going to be, you know, a bunch of national teams. There's 10 different colours featured there. And again, anyone who joins us live is a bunch easier. But Sorare always have their little codes, their little enigmas, you know, they drop little clues. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this a little bit better. But as you can see, they've went in and they've changed the font for when they've done Own Your Game World. And in game, the letters, they've done something to the font. There's definitely a clue in there. Anyone that can think about it will probably crack the code, crack the Dan Da Vinci code of what is going on. It's either something to do with the letters A and E, I'm guessing, or maybe G and M, or maybe just M, or something. But, oh, maybe. So, what I just thought there is M for Mondial. Mondial is like, is it French for world? So you get like, Like, yeah, Mondial is like one of these words, like Mondial and Calcio and Jogo or whatever it is. These other kind of foreign words for ball and football, they kind of get tossed into like football vocabulary and stuff, names of
Yeah.
magazines and podcasts and whatever. So maybe the M for Mondial, because Mondial is like the World Cup, I think, in some language, or maybe that's it. I don't know.
Quite possibly.
Groups A and E, maybe. Andy Black, what a crazy genius you could be, by the way. Right, let's go and look at the
That's a
World
good
Cup.
shout.
That's a great
That's
shout.
a really good. Yeah.
Let's see. So Group A, we've got Netherlands, we've got Ecuador, we've got Senegal, we've got Qatar. Okay. So let's see those colours again. Now, Qatar could be the wee pinky one. Somebody's got a picture of them all here. Let's go look at the picture. So Qatar could be like one of these pinky purpley ones, maybe. I could definitely see that. Senegal, Ecuador, Netherlands. So Senegal could be a green one. No problem. Ecuador and Netherlands. I don't see them getting a colour in here. And what was the other one? E. Germany, Spain, Costa Rica, Japan. Spain, maybe one of the reds. Costa Rica, I think they play red as well. Maybe they're blue. Japan is blue. So Japan could be a blue one, definitely. Blue samurai and all that jazz. And Spain, yeah, Spain could be a red team. And Germany, black. Black could be Germany. They've got black
Is there
kits.
a reason? Sorry to interrupt you, Quinny.
That's
Is there a
okay.
reason why some of them are larger than the others, if that makes sense? As in like the actual cards?
I
Or
think
is it just the way you've stopped it?
I think that's the way this guy's grabbed the screenshots of all the
Okay.
images and laid them
Yeah.
out. I think it's down to
Yeah.
his formatting or whatever. But that's a great shout, Andy Black. It's a shame there's no Group M for us to further investigate. But maybe it's the components of Groups A and E. Then we've got Argentina, we've got France, because there is some colours there that marry up. We definitely, if we're getting national teams, John said on his podcast this week, or was it last week? But the one to get is England. If we're getting national teams, if you're after a boom factor on the marketplace and all that fun stuff, the one to get is on for better or for worse, whether I like it or not, is England. I think the American national team will be huge as well, just for the kind of presence that they have on social media and whatever. American sports in general. But yeah, any other suggestions? Get them thrown out there. It's got to do something with the World Cup, says Joshua. 12 colours. 12 colours. 12 colours. What could that mean? 12 colours. Let's see. Group A and E, right? So there's 3, 5. I was going to check how many individual colours are in those groups, but I don't think it's going to be 12 because there's a lot of greens, there's a lot of red and blue repeating. But yeah, the effort to crack the Dan Da Vinci Code will endeavour throughout the stream, guys. So any suggestions? Leave this here just so you can see it. Then get it in the live chat. Me and Harry will entertain it, and we will investigate to the fullest of our ability. But yeah, for the midweek, Harry, you kind of touched on it as well. We could probably jump to that for a second. But for the midweek, I'd kind of set up teams thinking about, like just going for, like I've got a funny situation this game week because there's a lot of La Liga and just a few of the other actual SO5 games that are on. There's a lot of domestic cups. So one thing I would say to everyone, actually, no matter how big or small your gallery is, no matter what scarcities you go into, do not be fooled going into this game week thinking your players are getting rests. There's a very good chance a lot of them will be playing in a cup game somewhere. So please do keep your peepers on that for injuries or anything else that might come out of it as a result, because I've made that mistake before and you don't even check it because you might not get notifications somehow, depending on how you work your phone and how you track your players. And then it turns out, oh, so-and-so got injured in the cup on Wednesday night. And you're like, oh, crap, I missed that. So keep the diligence up on that. But yeah, so my point of that, Harry, was it's a very, in terms of SO5, in terms of Sorare covered leagues, there's a lot. La Liga is one of the most dominant divisions this week, and I've got a lot of La Liga pieces. There's Belgium there too. So I was just going to go full super rare with all my La Liga cards and throw them in All Star, and then full rare, and then just dingy All Star, rare pro, dingy. I don't think there's specialists and stuff for rares and whatever this game week, but I don't have that much going on. I've only got 2 playing keepers. One is red and one's blue, so it kind of helps me make my mind up on that. But I did have Harwood Bellis to play this midweek for it, and he'd have been a real power defender, but he is now unfortunately no longer with me, and I would need to call upon the likes of Pablo Maffeo to fill in for him, who might be able to do the job, but definitely nowhere near as certain. Have Sorare managed to get national teams before? Is asking Master DC. Yes, they have. Harry, can you remember all the nations we've had in the past?
Ooh, so France, Belgium.
One more.
Ooh, not one more. Ooh. European team.
Yep.
France, Belgium.
Very close to the other two.
Ah, ooh, Spain. Germany.
Germania! That's right.
There it is. I
So, Master
completely.
DC, you will find cards for France, like guys like Pogba, Kante, all these types of guys that never had a real card, but they've had the national team. Same with Germany and Belgium. There's some De Bruyne cards. There's actually more limited De Bruynes than there is rares, would you believe? But there you go. So yeah, they have done it before, and we're all quite frustrated that those teams never got a full issuance that season, because we'd all love to have a De Bruyne, wouldn't we? Wouldn't have minded the chance to
Yes,
win
we
a De
would.
Bruyne for longer than 2 minutes. That would have been good. And yeah, non-stick Llama's coming to your blushes there, Harry, with the Germany shout. So we have had national teams before. It's highly rumoured as well, Master DC, that the Argentina deal's been done already. Whether it be with the FA for the division or the national team's a wee bit unclear. Maybe feels like both, is from some of the rumours that comes out of like the blockchain and the people that can pull this stuff apart, APIs and codes and all that jazz, So I would expect Argentina to be involved in this, along with the three countries we just named being involved in the past. And I think it's important to note as well, Harry, this is one thing I would say, and I'd love to get your take on who the other countries you think might be, whether it be from those colours or from anything else, right? But with Belgium, I think a big part of that was down to the relationship that they've got with the FA, because obviously they're based in France as well, and I don't really know the situation with Germany exactly, right? But the feeling I got with the Belgium one was that like they were quite in there already, they're quite well known, and they've got probably connections at the Jupiler League that makes it, oh yeah, I'd actually do that job as well for the FA, or oh no, I know Sally at the FA, I can put you in touch, that kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, maybe Argentina's came around that way as well with some of the club licensing or whatever. Because once you get River and Boca, you probably know everyone in the league that's worth knowing.
Yeah.
Would you cry? So, do you, with anything, with that in mind, with anything in mind, Harry, what countries would you hope to expect to see?
I mean, if we're going off that logic in terms of like, if we have the league already type of thing, then you'd like to think that the Netherlands are in there somewhere, really,
Netherlands,
knowing
yeah,
that we have the full Eredivisie, if that's a connection we can make.
yeah,
Just trying to think. Brazil's a bit of a stretch just because I don't feel like we haven't got Flamengo. Like there's quite a few clubs we don't have in Brazil, isn't there? I don't know.
sure.
If this is anything to go by, of course, this type of logic. But yeah, I'm just trying to think. What else have we got? I mean, we've got nothing. Obviously, we've got Liverpool, but other than that, obviously nothing to like insinuate England. But that doesn't mean we wouldn't. It'd be
Yeah.
amazing if we could, like you said earlier on.
What about Wales?
Wales could be an interesting one. Yeah. I mean,
You spoke to your contacts?
no, I've not met. I should message. I mean, I probably should just throw a message out just in case. But yeah, I wonder who that actually had gone to, if that makes sense. Because I was with, like when I was there, I was in the media department, and I don't know if it would go through them or the marketing. I'd have to try and figure out who that actually would go to in the end. But USA would be a great one. Obviously, we've got the MLS. I
Yep.
think that could be something that is quite easily accessible. Mexico
Mexico, yep.
might make sense.
I was thinking Croatia maybe as well, since we've just got their division.
Croatia, yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Portugal's a funny one because we've got the big teams, but we don't have the division.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that is a tricky one. Switzerland, we don't really have that many, but I know we have a couple, don't we? Gaza says England, Holland, US. I think, yeah, if we had those three, I think that would be incredible, to be honest. Spain. Yeah, Spain's probably one, isn't it? Where you go, they've got the whole La Liga. They've had it for 2 years now, or 2 seasons.
Yep.
I wouldn't disbelieve if they had the Spanish national team. Yeah, definitely not. Do you think they'll like remake some, like have France again, or
Yeah. I think
no,
that,
yeah,
I think they would do like the World Cup edition for these players. I think that's maybe
yeah,
what the design is maybe this is a World Cup national team card, So
hmm
the like it's trying to tie that NFT kind of angle back to it again, oh, I got this card
definitely
for the World Cup and this was the World Cup Messi, and this was the World
version,
Cup
yeah.
Ronaldo and
I'm
whatever
just
else.
thinking how big that could be. Like that could be big.
Yeah.
Like, marketing wise and just sort of exposure wise. Like I don't see how that doesn't really like bring more eyeballs than we have now, if that makes sense to everything. Because yeah, if you've got like a legit World Cup edition cards, it just adds to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does add to the whole sort of month that is going on. And yeah, I can see that really being like a positive move if that is the case. If they are legit like World Cup edition cards, which it looks like they're gonna be. Like if we're looking at those, at that graphic there on screen, it's hard to not think it won't be. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. But then it's like the Global Cup. So do we think that'll be a division? If that makes sense, that would make the most sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it'll be a region, and they'll probably want.
Okay.
It was one thing I was also thinking as well with the design, right? Because if that is the design, like the border, like for the World Cup cards, and it is shown
Mm-hmm.
as all these colours, right? Now, actually, somebody in the live chat helped Andy Black decipher this, and he's saying, who was it that said it? Kieran Smalley, fist bump, thanks for joining us. Andy's on the mark there. 3 groups, 4 teams each, 12 colours. It all kind
Yeah.
of adds up.
I get it. But then, like, do you think, like, what is the chances they've managed to get 3 complete groups? Is what I'm getting at. I'm not disbelieving that they haven't, but or do you think it's just they're doing 3 now and then there'll be another 3? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, how
Maybe.
probable is it that they've like completely got do you know what I'm saying? Like 3 complete. I don't know. That seems a bit like it makes sense, like numbers wise. The numbers fit in quite smoothly, but then I'm like, but how I don't know, how weird would that be if they've just got you know what I'm saying, like 3 full groups, like they've not got anybody else.
Yeah, that would be unusual.
It would, yeah, I think it would, but it'd be great if they did. I'd be very happy.
What do you think? Maybe see the stuff we're seeing there on screen. I'm just
Mhm.
looking at it again. I was going to float the idea of it maybe being like because they're saying Global Cup 2022. I was thinking maybe there's a possibility that these cards all come out a single scarcity, 5,000 of everything, and they can only be used in this division in their national team cards or something. Because that's an easy way to get everyone armed up with the correct amount of cards. Because remember how it went with Legends, and even if you look at Legends now, it doesn't make a fucking difference if it's a rare or a super rare or
No,
anything, you know.
true.
So if you're opening a region up, how do you make sure that there's enough people with enough cards in their hands to make the competition vibrant,
Yeah, yeah, I'm just trying to
But
think,
maybe
but
but as I was watching it there, I do think that's a stupid idea, probably not likely, but maybe that's the back of the cards. Maybe we get backs now, because people have floated that idea before, that,
possibly.
that they've got access to the back. I think it was Mark Who Never Walk Alone on a podcast at some point, in a galaxy far, far away. Um, but yeah, maybe it's the back of the cards, because I'm thinking, like, I'm looking at the colours and how they're showing us it with the logo and everything, and I'm like, maybe the cards are going to be a full colour, but then that takes away from the scarcity thing, like the gold, red, blue, black kind of vibe. So yeah, maybe I'm just barking up the wrong tree now, but
No, I don't know. I don't think you're far off. It's just hard to, yeah, it is hard to decipher. I think Andy says maybe they have the whole thing. Yeah, it could be very probable. I
I would hope
can't.
so, man, because like we've seen it before.
Yeah.
We've all been speaking about it for the last like year and a half, basically. But we all remember like being younger and there being like a FIFA World Cup game, and it's like the World Cup
hmm
license and it's all the national teams and it's a separate kind of game and whatever. I think now it's maybe just a
Yeah.
mode, but back in the day it used to be a separate PS1 game. So it's not unforeseeable because of sticker books and whatever that they could get a World Cup license and get access to the tournament that way as a sponsor, I suppose. Somebody was saying they'd find it hard for them. They'd find it hard to see that they would get the Qatar. I wouldn't, to be honest with you, because like Qatar is it's like the host nation and like maybe it's a kind of rite of passage thing that you have to get the Qataris on. I don't know. They did stop selling Russian cards because of the stuff, so maybe they who knows, but what their complete stance is on all this stuff. But Joshua reckons that Japan is definitely one of them. Jonathan Gargi is saying maybe Canada. Gaza's coming out with England, Holland, America, and possibly Spain. So a lot of great shouts we're getting over and over again. Andy Black's saying again, yeah, maybe the whole thing. If it's not everything, it's a shambles, says Simo. I could agree with it. I could agree that that's a likely outcome. That it is a farce. If we, like I'm saying, like if we don't all have enough cards to have fun with it and really engage with it properly, then it will be a shambles. It'll be pish, But I heard it get translated. You probably seen Nicholas Julia was on a Sorare Data Twitch, a French one with Max.
I did see that. Yeah.
Somebody translated it, and Nick said that there's been a team of people like in a bunker, and he they've been isolated away, and like Hugo set up the World Cup for the last 6 months, 8 months or something. That's all they've been doing, and this is then like a couple of days later. The first kind of when did they do that thing with Max? Friday. Today's Monday. So it's obviously an organised setup for a rollout, I would think, so we'll probably get more. Maybe we get another little thing like this tomorrow, maybe there's some new colours, maybe there's something else that goes along. Germany is locked, says Simply Alex as well. On you go, Harry, sorry.
No, I was just trying to think then, is there some sort of correlation between days? So, and so what have we got? We've still got over a month, haven't we, technically? Well, it's close to. I think the first game's on the. Did it get brought forward to the 17th? I'm just having a look now.
Something
or was
like
it
that.
The 19th? Yeah.
It's like game week 324.
So I'm just thinking, could they drop? I don't know.
Something
I'm just
like
trying to think. One a day, or that wouldn't really make sense, would it? Do they drop everything at once? How is that going to work? Like in terms of. It'd just be carnage, wouldn't it, on the auctions? Which is not a bad thing.
Alex is in here pumping his tweets, loving it. Joshua saying that Alex has got a proper tweet speculating on us. When we go and pull that up. Yes, back of cards, maybe dynamic moments possible. I think maybe it is like momenty cards and it's a single scarcity.
I was gonna say that. I swear on my life.
Were you?
5 minutes ago. Yeah, I had it in my head. I was like, oh no, but then they cancelled it. Well, not cancelled, but the Germany thing. Remember that was a thing, wasn't it, for a while? But I don't know. I just didn't want to say it just in case it sounded stupid, to be honest. But maybe it is. Very well, could be.
Joe Ducey reckons definitely France, 33 or 34 days from now. And then Jonathan Gargi's saying Belgium, France, Germany, and Argentina will definitely come. Maybe 8 more like Portugal and such. Good shout.
Mm-hmm.
It could just be like the Big 12 or something. Yeah, it's a good shout.
It could. But then it's like, is that enough, like you said?
Mm-hmm.
Is there enough variance, if that makes sense? Like, if you've only got 12 teams worth, I don't know. Like you said, does everyone have enough cards to play it? I know that's not including the cards that we already own, of course. See if they're sort of utility.
See if they're World Cup edition cards that get moments as the tournament goes on, and they do shit as the tournament. Like you get a Messi World Cup card, and then Messi scores a hat-trick against Senegal or something. And then you get the hat-trick goal stamped onto the back of every World Cup Messi or something. Like that's game changer. If it was something mad like that.
Yeah, that'd be nuts. No, they've just tweeted that someone said they've made a new tweet, but all it is about the Salah goal yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And how Sorare was in the on the billboards on the outside. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm just glad it's another talking point, isn't it? Something to speculate on. It keeps us ticking over in that sense. Keeps us on our toes, and like I said, something to definitely look forward to.
A lot of the guys in the chat were getting too hyped over that tweet, thinking it was
a
follow-up. Once they do the big one, they go home. They go home and then they just read they just look at all the aftermath, and then they probably get into their own wee group chat and go, "Oh, that was a good one," or "Oh, fuck, that was a bad one," kind of idea. But today was definitely a good one. And I didn't see it coming really. I did think about Nicholas's comments over the weekend. I was like, oh, I wonder what will come, but I didn't even pay any mind today at all. Just more thinking about the week ahead. And like I was saying earlier, I sold a big card record fee for FC Barcelona in terms of Ethereum, not in terms of pounds. In terms of pounds, it's nowhere near. But, in terms of Ethereum, a record sale for me. So I've been kind of.
Any plans?
Yeah, I've got. I don't know. I'm between a few different places for what to do. Right, so. Over the last 3 or 4 big sales I've done, so the Trippier super rare, the Harwood Bell super rare, Van der Voort rare, and then a couple other bits and pieces round about. And it's been about consolidating teams down, increasing quality, increasing focus on where I'm targeting and what cards I'm using and how I'm using them, kind of vibe. But in that little list I gave you, there's 2 super rare defenders, and the only super rare defender I've brought in is Jan Kuto, who's an under 23 prospect. Keyword there, prospect. So I'm not expecting to see him really make an impact to SO5 for a while. If he does, cool, but not, didn't buy him for that in mind. So I'm kind of talking to myself about a super rare defender, but then when I build my lineups, I'll show you this, Harry, right? You can help me. Everyone at home can help me as well, right? If they can be so kind. So when I'm looking at my lineup builder for game week, what's this? 316, right? So I look at the weekend and I think, right, what am I actually missing to make my teams like strong? So I've got a specialist one. That's good enough, right? It doesn't need me to run out to the market and get something. All-star rare, kind of the same, right? Looks fine enough. Don't need to run out desperately to get something. The Challenger Europe rare, I don't know if the Kaiser's playing, right? I've just kind of put that there to see if he did play, what would I be better doing with him? Would it be Champion rare, Challenger rare, or would it be under 23 Pro or something? So that's just a wee try it out before you do something. Can I hang over here? All-Star Rare Pro, again, like if Jota's fit, and Sensei, it's a bad game on paper, but the way he plays, I don't actually think that's a bad fixture. But anyway, again, I look at that team, and if Jota's fit, I don't really need to run out and buy anything. Challenger Europe Rare Pro, I think Moy plays. I think Giacomakis scores even if it's from the bench. Again, I don't think I really need to run out and buy anything for that. And then All-Star Super Rare, bearing in mind I've got a injured unique and then another unique that's been exiled. I'm not really desperate to run out and buy anything to make that look any better. Maybe, because I mentioned before, Pablo Maffeo's come in. Maybe I could upgrade Maffeo, maybe, but it's a maybe. And then, like, maybe as in, like, of course I could do it with the money I've got, but maybe it's the move, maybe it's not. And then over here in Challenger, like, I've got the super rare Snoddy, I've got the super rare Gordon. If Mulgrew comes back fit, I don't need to worry about a defender, obviously. And then I've got other bits and pieces that can fill that team out. And then Underdog Rare, it's just the scraps, basically, So everything's kind of balanced, and it's what I'm thinking to myself is more a case of, did I go and get some more Celtic cards, or did I try and get some non-Celtic cards? Because I know that when I'm building lineups, I do feel that, so I know that I definitely need a rare forward that's not Celtic connected, because if I don't have Celtic playing forward wise, I'm fucked. Like, I really am. I've got Castellanos, Cunha, Nemeka, and Unal, and 3 of them are super rares. Like, I don't have anything. So I know I kind of need a non-Celtic related rare forward, and I'm kind of scratching around. I don't want to spend too much money on one of them, but I'll probably will get one of them because I need it. But then outside of that, there's nothing there that I'm like, oh, I better run out and buy 5 of these, or go and get 2 of them, or been waiting on that guy for ages or something. So I'm kind of stuck.
I mean, sometimes that's not a bad position to be in the sense of, like, clearly, means that you're quite satisfied, or maybe very satisfied with the sort of players that you can run. And yeah, maybe it's a case of, like, you might, right now in this position you're in, you might not be able to, like, foresee what that gap is, and you know what I'm saying, and until it kind of happens.
Sure.
I know it's easy to say that after the game week's done, of course, and be like, oh well, that guy scored 10, I need a better defender, whatever, right? But sometimes I think you just need that over maybe a sustained 2 or 3 weeks, if that makes sense. Like, and then sort of assess from there, and instead of just spunking early on, and then that player that you've just bought in isn't hitting the heights that you just previously had, and you bought on a high, like, there's definitely situations that you don't want to get yourself in. So I definitely think it's not a bad thing to just sort of take the ride for now, and knock on wood, you don't, but injuries happen. So you can act accordingly in that sense if you do have the capital there, ready to go, I guess, is kind of the way I would probably look at that, because like you said, there wasn't really much gap wise. Like you said, forward is definitely, rare forward is definitely something you need to look at, isn't it? Just but like with forwards, it's so hot and cold in the sense of, like, you either buy one that's like already been scoring, i.e. his price is going to be like nice and inflated, or you go with someone that's like not been scoring, obviously, and hope that they do, which is a risk, of course. They're both risks, but they're just both on the either end of the spectrum, aren't they? So it depends what you want to spend, isn't it? Really, in terms of like what your risk appetite is.
Well, I'll tell you this, Harry. Do you know what the first forwards that I've really got close to? I just want to make sure I'm on the right screen so people can see. Yeah, the first forward I was kind of scratching around, and I was looking at Ismail Assar, Harry, right?
Okay.
And Ismail Assar, as we know from games and things gone by, is a demon in the Prem and in the Championship. Last three auctions, or his last two auctions of the three, have been underneath. Still, it's really just to have a non-Celtic forward. I don't want to spend enough, but like I think he's wildly underpriced. He's not U23, which probably goes against him, but I think he's a stellar player. Like, and you know, he's still going to have the rest of the season at Watford in the Championship, hopefully doing 70s and 80s, and then like he's a guy that, you know, I think anyway is relatively transfer proof within England. Like if he goes to another team in England, he's played in England for 2 or 3 years, and he's been skinning defenders when he was in the Prem and fit, and in the Championship for 2 seasons on and off. You know, So like if he did go to like, I don't know, I'm just going to say Leicester or Newcastle or Liverpool or something, I wouldn't be worried about him. Or can he score goals there or whatever? And equally, he could maybe go somewhere better, like go back to France or go to, you know, something like that. Somebody could come and spend 40 million on him, you know, and make him their main man. So, but then again, I don't want to spend enough on a guy that's just a non-Celtic rare forward, because that's the criteria that I've got. And then I look, like you say, for guys that are maybe a bit less fashionable. And then that took me on to another Championship player, funnily enough. Timo Pukki, ex-Celtic player. And again, we kind of know what we're getting with Pukki. If he scores, he'll get 70. If he doesn't score, he's probably 30.
Yeah.
And he's about half an ETH, you know. He's 32. If he goes to the Prem, he's probably not good for goals this time, like it was last time, because he's just way older. So a wee bit more jeopardy with him.
Yeah, I mean, if you're comparing those two, for me, you have to go with Ismail Assar. I know he's an ETH, but
I'm just like, that's the kind of so I start with Ismail Assar, and then end up at Pukki, and then the next guy I looked at, right, this is way down the scale. So this is like 3 different, totally different calibers. Again, in the Championship, Vakun Bayo, again, ex-Celtic, was in Belgium for like 5 minutes and did very well and got a transfer to Watford. Can't really get in the team, but if he does, he'll probably score some goals and whatever else. But again, he's nice and cheap, you know, really nice and cheap. Could probably get him cheaper than what he's listed for. His super rare's really nice and cheap as well. And if I fancied him to break into a team, which I'm not sure he will, you know, because there's a guy there, Davis or something. You know, he's not likely to break into the team. But anyway, he might break into the team, and he's like 0.1. So that's the kind of thought process I've been taking myself down. Quinny, Hendo's recommending Big Paul Onuachu, which isn't a terrible shout, I suppose.
I watched him on Saturday, to be fair, Saturday night in that Genk game. He looked sharp. Like he was holding up the ball. He was an absolute nuisance to defend against. Like people just can't get near him because he's so big. Like so hard to get the ball off him. It's unbelievable. And he's pretty agile, to be honest, for a big guy. Like I was quite impressed with his sort of hold up play, and he was drawing fouls left, right, and centre. I thought he was a handful up there, definitely.
That's a good shout. I'll check out how much he is. Ty Baribo can be a great forward option, but he's on top form at the moment, so not a great time to buy. Would you consider going into U23s, asking Charlie Dunbar? Well, yeah, I would, but I don't mind sneaking in the back door to U23. So what I've got now, U23 wise, so what I was thinking with that, who was it that asked me that? Sorry, Charlie. And Harry, you'll be able to speak to this being the U23 man that you are, right? So when I look at my U23 contingent of rares and super rares, right, I'm obviously waiting for De Kaiser. If De Kaiser can play, then I've got an option, right? If he doesn't, then I'm waiting, right? But so outside of De Kaiser, and forget any of the American-based players, right? But so who do I have? Jens is a defender, ages out in a year. So I've got Guardiola, I've got Jota, I've got Wirtz coming back from injury, I've got Reina coming back from injury. I've got Tanaka, Ferran Torres. I've got bits of rares, okay? But when it comes to super rare, and Hendo's told me this before that I'm lacking under 23 super rare, but I've got Nameka, who's a nailed on forward, and he just needs to score to be useful, but he's just recently just not been scoring. But I wouldn't worry about this because this is him getting called up for Germany. He is like the only actual like striker in the Germany team at the moment, so worth hanging on to. But yeah, outside of that, super rare wise, I don't really have much going on. Cunha's not reliable. Illich is the one that's still in SO5 is injured at the moment, so I would need to get a super rare to if the Kaiser plays, if I get a super rare, ideally a defender or a mid, I can or no, ideally a defender because I want to play. So I would need a super rare defender, basically replace Harwood Bellis, and then go after the World Cup, go Wirtz, Jota, and Nemeka.
Yeah.
So I would need a super rare defender to achieve that, which I don't mind doing. But again, like looking at the prices of some of them that would be on my